So I'm using a gem called, or just the Twitter gem. So in Ruby we have gems, and it's kind of like this is like a wrapper for. So instead of typing in that big URL with all those parameters that we've been doing and getting the to get the JSON back, you can actually just use this Twitter gem, and you can do things like Twitter.update, and then like you initiate your Twitter object by sending in like your username and like whatever credentials you need. Just show my code. Okay. Okay. So I set up it as a rake task. So I'll just show what happens if I do rake interact. Oh wow, this doesn't work. So what happens is, I was expecting to have such a line space. Okay. When I do rake interact, it goes here. So if I run this task search reply follow, what happens is first it checks the time. And I run this task like every hour, and if it's like divisible by 3, it'll actually go through and do the code. So this code only gets run if the hour is divisible by 3, and that's just to make it so it's not incredibly annoying. It's already pretty annoying. And so I search Twitter for a specific query, and I define. And so this is actually a method call. Select query is actually a method call, and I just defined a bunch of things in here. So I have a first, like, what I did was I went into Twitter search, and I do like all these searches. So I figure out things that philosophers say. So like philosophers say normative, descriptive, and they'll say things like phenomenological, reductio ad absurdum, circular logic. And I just figure out ways of replying to the like just sentences that have those words in it that work like 95, close to 100% of the time, to try to get a reply out of them. So here I'm getting the hour, and then I'm taking a just like random. I will say like every hour there's a possibility of like 3 of these tweets going out, so it's like randomized and it's not completely predictable. And so I can just add the meanings of that one. It's like 24 right now. So okay. So I decide which search I want to do based on the time and randomness, and then the first result after doing that search. So instead of like constructing that long string in the HTTP, I'm just using this Twitter gem, and then like I'd already like initiated the objects somewhere, and if you go through the documentation on like Twitter, I think the Twitter RP, you'll find it. And I'm taking the first one, and then recent, and then status, which was defined over here. I just set this. Actually, no. What is status? Okay, status is. So yeah, it sends it back in like I guess an array or hash. I forget which one. And then I'm just like looping through it and then assign it to status. So this is the tweet. So this is the tweet object that I found for the search. And unless it's from myself, so like sometimes my Twitter bot was the last person on Twitter to use reductio ad, so that doesn't work. So unless it is from me, which is just a method I defined down here, like unless it's from user. So this is like a method that you get. It's like so there's like those all those parameters you have, and then like from like you can pull out from user. So I'm just taking self is the object, and object that's from user is just who it is, and so just like way of interacting with the data that they give you back. And So then I do Twitter.update with the status that I define over here, which is the reply. Or actually, sorry, this is the user, so status.from_user is the user again. And then the reply that I decided goes for that search result. And then this is another parameter. So like usually you have to like type in like and in reply to status ID equals and then like 10 numbers. And here I'm just passing it in as like a parameter here for like a hash. And then it sleeps some time and then it follows that person. So this is just like a easy example of how to use it and mess with people. I'll show you. I'll actually show you the page. So these people are having a very philosophical conversation, probably about the metal album of the decade. And this guy, he said something about existence and subjective. So I go, that sounds like the same thing as saying nothing. What? And so it just.
Did anyone respond?
Yeah, people respond all the time. Let's see, it's a per response. What's Minos Stelos' hub score? That's a good question. I don't know. That's so many replies. Here we go.
Wow.
So yeah, people will actually like respond for a long.
That's a robot.
How often does it take up to respond back? Is that
It doesn't ever. That would be like the next step. I'm not really sure
That
how
would
to
be
do
cool.
that. I'm not that good with AI. I guess I could just take the text and put it into smarter code. And then, so these are I'm using.
Talking about robot.
Like, I don't think I'm being very clear. Like, do you guys have any questions? Like, I don't know. I was expecting to be able to work on my laptop.
How do you, what would you see like the Twitter, or the Twitter library from Michelle? Because when I was just constructing URLs on my own, but that's because at the time there was not a Tumblr Python library. Like normally it's already done for you. Someone made a library that you can just use. And so like all the URL constructing is like happening way underneath.
Yeah.
Inside the library. So I mean, unfortunately, I had to deal with doing myself. But since I was only doing one URL, it's not a big deal. But this library in Ruby does everything for you. Like every single possible API request to Twitter, it will do for you without you having to type out the URL. You can figure out which method to call.
Yeah, so I've been like looked through it too much, but I think what's going on is like I'm using, let's see, updates. Okay, here.
Who built this library?
Twitter. No, it was some, I think just some guy, maybe it was something attached to Twitter, but I used the Instagram library and that was built by Instagram, and then the Tumblr library I used was built by a guy who maintains the Tumblr API. That's probably going to first tomorrow, so if you're using Tumblr, really updating it today. Anyways. Yeah, I mean, that's about it. Oh, you went, yeah, so like, basically what happens is, they have this like big, I haven't really read the big code, it's actually pretty big, Twitter's got a huge API, but it just sends it all down to this base RV, I think, and it's like maps it, or puts it on these, like it basically is making that string for you and sending it off, which is pretty smart and easy to work with. So, I could go through all of them.
How do you use the Twitter API? Like, do you use it in like IRC?
No, it's probably easy. So I would just say required Twitter. That's true. Oh, you guys can see that, right? Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Alright, so if you type in IRB, you should have it. And now I understand why computers and students always like full of shit. It's like it's not the easiest thing. So yeah, you do require, so you do gen install Twitter. I already have it installed. And once you're in IRB, you require Twitter. And then you do something like Twitter equals Twitter.new. Okay, so you would have to pass in, so you have to configure it. So, so here, this is just a YAML file, and it's like I'm defining, so don't copy this stuff. It's like my consumer secret, my consumer, like all these tokens I need to like construct the Twitter, like get my credentials and authentication and stuff. And you do that by just going to like Twitter developer, registering your application, and they'll give that stuff to you. They'll give you like read and write access. And then I guess I'll put it in here, initializer. I'm doing twitter.configure. And then, yeah, so this is basically what you type in. And I do this in the initializer, so I guess it's going to run every time the app starts up. I mostly work with Rails, so I'm not actually like, really, Scotch is just like really bare bones compared to Rails. And but anyway, so this gets run every time I start it up and like configures up to Twitter. So it gives me all the things I need, and now that I have it, and this is also specific to like my app. And so you would fill this in with like something like really ugly. And then from there you can just start playing around with it, like twitter.update, and then it will like tweet on your home feed, or like twitter.get timeline or something like that. I didn't show, maybe better, I can show.
How do you request
It's like really similar. So we have something called NetHTTP, but it's also really ugly and hard to work with. It's like a library, but there's like wrappers built on top of it. So I haven't actually worked with, but Faraday is the best one to use, I hear. And it's like, I was looking through it as you were talking, and it's pretty similar to what he was doing. Like, yeah. But if you need to do things like Hey Google or something like that, it's Faraday. I mean, I'm better with like one-on-one, so if you guys have any questions or like want to ask any questions, it's cool. So I wish I could. So here, this is a Rails app. I built this. It's really slow because I do free hosting because no one's paying me to do this. So this is a Rails app I bought, or I built, and so pretty good. So you do like, I post like 5 photos to Tumblr.com every 3 weeks, and then you put in your email and password. And because I'm like actually posting to a Tumblr, I need to get like authorized, and I tried to make that as easy as possible. And so it actually automatically authorized my Instagram. which is probably not good because I'm already logged in. And then I just allow Tumblr to do it, and then it automatically it does its first upload right now. So what it's doing is it's taking all your your most popular photos from the last 200, and taking the 4 most popular and listing it as a photo set on Tumblr. So I had to do like authentication with both of them to do that, and but I can show you. So for that, you can go into the Rails console and just play around. So I have an initializer that initializes both. I'm using the Instagram gem, which is similar to the Twitter gem that I showed you, and a Tumblr gem. And like when I start my app, which I just started for the console, my environment, it like initializes those 2 things, and I have to set up an initializer under my I just like sets it up. I can show it too. It's my first time presenting. There isn't a way to switch it to like my screen, is there?
You can mirror it.
Oh my god, I should do that.
That way it'll show both. It'll mirror it.
Okay, maybe it'll be better now. All right, so if you go. Okay. Go into config / or initializers. I just set up a thing called oauth.rb, and so I do like tumblr.config, and then I just config these things, and then Instagram.config. These are 2 separate gems that I have included in my gem file. So you'll see I have Instagram and Tumblr client, and those are the names of the gems. So if you like Google searches, you'll find those. And I'm just configuring them. And then so for OAuth, I'm doing that all in the controller, so OAuth controller. So once the user submits a post, I'm having them direct to the Instagram auth, and then that's automatically redirecting to Instagram.authorized URL, and then you send them your callback URL, and they get that. The user gets sent to that screen that we saw. Well, actually, they didn't see that because I was pretty long time, but they get sent to a screen and you say, yeah, I authorize this URL, and then they come back to me and they send, and when there's a parameter, when they come back to me in the header, there's that parameter. I'm accessing it by just doing Instagram.get access token params code, and then I'm saving that in this response, and then I just save that to the database. So it's super abstracted from what Jeremiah was doing. It's like all the same stuff is happening. It's just like they Instagram built this nice layer of code to work with to just like make it easier. Just type in like Instagram gem. Like this whole process is in here. So it's like configuring the client and then this authorized URL. And you have to make sure that, like, I registered my app over here, and you have to make sure that that matches, the redirect URL matches what you registered, or it won't work. But they give you like nice messages and stuff. So yeah, we can like play around with it, I guess.